everybody, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be making I think at least 3 Mother's Day cards, and I'm probably just going to do one on camera and then I'll show you what the other 2 is. So I wanted to kind of explain everything. So I have this die that says Happy Mother's Day, so we're going to be using that, and I have a couple of things going on. I'm not sure which direction I'm going to go. I'm pulling a bunch of different products. Of course, you don't need to do this card. If you're doing it multiple times, you can just do the same thing over and over, but since I have it, why not, right? So I have the Stitched Basket Weave by Pink Fresh Studio, and then I have this stitched diagonal 45-degree stitched lines from Amazon, and then for the last cover plate I am doing, or potentially using, the Sweet Plaid Texture by Waffle Flower plate. This is my favorite one. I use this quite often, and I'm thinking about using Christina Warner's Cheerful Flower dies. I'm going to be using, well, I'm not sure. I think I might be using both or whatnot. And then I'm also going to be using, it pulled a lot, so again, not sure which direction I'm going to go. Might just use each one for each card. We'll see. So we're going to use Pink Fresh Studios Stitch Scalloped Rectangle, and then we're also potentially using the Nested Rectangles Postage Edge by Pink Fresh Studio, and then from Amazon we have this scalloped rectangle frames, so we're going to be using that. And then also I have from Spellbinders, we have Happy Mother's Day. Let's see, where is it at? Right here at the top. So we might be using it as a press plate or as a foil, so we'll see. And then we're also going to be using Lawn Fawn Simple Stripes Portrait because I'm going to be using a lot of colors. So lots going on in this whole cards. So one card, I'm not sure what the third card is going to look like. It might be just a variation of different purples because the person that I want to give the card to loves purple. But for one of the cards we're going to be using, let's see here, this actually was inspired by Lainey from Crafted by Lucas. She did like 3 cards in this color palette. In fact, this is the color palette right here, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm being inspired by her card, but doing my own thing. So I believe this is Sea Glass, Oceanside, Pink Lemonade, Watermelon, and Creamsicle, and then Buttercup. I'm not sure if I want to use Buttercup, but at least this is the color palette for one card. And then another one, we're going to be using Buttercup. This is all from Concord Night, the cardstock, excuse me. Buttercup, Juniper, I think this is Sea Glass, Pink Lemonade, and then I think this is Carnation, and I forget what this one is called. Just kind of pulled some color palettes. So we're going to be doing that, and like I said, the third card, excuse me, I'm not sure what we're going to do with that card. I'm going to have to think on that, or I might just use the same color palette. So that being said, this is cardstock from Concord and Ninth. It's just their white cardstock, and I think it just makes sense to get everything cut out. So what I'm going to do with this is I have this Simple Stripes Portrait, which I said earlier, and I'm going to use this to cut these out equally. Or I could just cut them out myself, honestly, so that way I'm not wasting a lot. Probably will just do that. So I think the first thing is to figure out which frame I'm going to use. I think I want to, and I'm doing A2 card size. So this is just a lot of like thinking through process. Let's see, I don't need that right now. That's going to kind of be my last one. So sorry for all the products that are being pulled. You don't have to buy all of them. You obviously do what works in your craft room, right? So I think I'm going to pull that one, the second from the largest. And I have an A2 card size. I just want to make sure this is not too, no, it's not too big. Okay, so then let me cut this down. And I apologize, this might turn into a voiceover. Just because I have my daughter home and she might come out and want to craft with mommy instead of playing with daddy. So if that happens, that's just kind of the nature of my life right now and the season that I'm in. Okay. That's good, right? That should be. I just want to try to conserve as much space on my cardstock. Okay. There we go. We'll run that through the machine. Okay. So that's what that looks like. And here is my panel. Okay, so I just want to make sure this is going to fit. So I'm going to bring this out because the idea of it is to kind of wish the center gets popped out. That's all right. Oh yeah, that's going to be plenty enough room. I'm going to run this on my machine, get this pressed out, and then I'm going to get the measurements. And I think I'm going to have to go into a voiceover because I hear my daughter wanting to play with me or crap with me. All right, so bear with me on the transition. All right, sorry I had to move into a voiceover, but my daughter decided to craft with me. So I'm just die cutting using my cover plate. It's from Waffle Flower. It's one of my favorites. I use a lot on my channel, so it's not the first nor it will be the last time I use this type of design. Absolutely love it. So I'm trimming down the panel on all four sides because if you don't, the design's going to look off-centered. And yes, I'm using my architect scale to do some measurements and figuring out, crunching the numbers to see what the size of the strips need to be. So I'm just getting both the height and the width, and then of course doing some math that you saw earlier on my phone. So I'm just cutting down the strips to size, and of course then I'll cut it the other direction so that way it will fit on my panel. Is it perfect? It's almost perfect, but it works for what I needed it to do. So I'm just using some liquid glue to the back for the back of my panel, and I decided to start at the bottom so that way I could see it a little bit better as opposed to the top. It's just how I like to visually. You'll see that I do things a lot of the times upside down, only because I am nearsighted, so I can't see far, which I can see objects fine. I just can't read far away. But this just makes it easier for me to get this visually centered and aligned with it's kind of hard to see, but there's like a dotted outline. And so I'm just trying to get it to be aligned with that. So once you get the first one done, the rest is super easy. It's just a matter of gluing and pushing it up or aligning it with the previous strip. So again, just adding all of my really pretty cardstock strips. So we're using the A2 card size. So right now it's 4¼ by 11. So you just have to score it at the 5.5 inch mark. And I always like to use my Teflon bone folder to give a really good crease. So again, just bringing that out and then applying a lot of pressure to give a nice good crease to this. Now this card does become really thick and heavy because of all the foam tape. So of course, if you don't want to do that and you have to mail it, then I wouldn't apply too much foam tape. So I did it to both the panel and of course that design that I'm currently trying to center. So it has a lot of thickness to it. So here I'm using that flower that I had mentioned earlier. And I think I cut it out maybe 3 or 4 times. And of course, punching out the negative pieces I don't use. This would be a really pretty inlay design. So you might see this again on my channel. I love to do inlay designs. So again, just layering them up just to provide some, again, more depth, more dimensions, a lot of dimension in this card. So just trying to center or position it where I'd like it. And I applied liquid glue to the back of the flower. So that was a lot of time. You can use spray adhesive. It would go a lot faster. But anyway, so I decided to do some foiling for this card, or for all the cards. So I'm applying pretty side to pretty side, and then I'm just using some black cardstock. I did overfoiling. I haven't mastered this just yet. I'm going to have to do some more research so that way I don't overfoil it and mess it up. My little timer button doesn't work. It never worked from the day I got it. So it's just a matter of me trying to figure out, the timing it takes to foil it. So that way I wouldn't have these issues that you saw there. So I'm just using my smaller guillotine trimmer, paper trimmer, to cut out. I really need to get a sentiment strip die set so that way I don't have to do this, just because I don't know. I don't think I'm perfect at doing it, but practice makes perfect, I suppose. So here I'm just trying to get this cut from end to end and trying to be as symmetrical as possible. And I think I did a pretty good job, and I really like how it turned out. So I figured this card, again, teacher here, I talk about drawings all the time, but I just added some liquid glue because I felt that this card had enough dimension in the card, so I didn't think it was necessary for me to add any more foam tape. So just lifting that up just to make sure that I have it all nice and centered on the card. And as soon as I was pretty happy about it, which I am, there you go. It looks really good. And of course, just like any other card, it needs a little bit of sparkle, especially since it's going to a lovely sister-in-law. Actually, I'm not sure. Well, I have two sister-in-laws, so I'm not sure which one, but it's definitely going to go to one of them. And I'm sure they'll appreciate the little bling to this card. I love how this card turned out super good. Finally, got these done. They turned out super adorable. Here's the other two that I did. So kind of, oops, come on. The other one's, this one's still dry, and I had a new glue bottle and it was pouring out the glue. So I got a little bit more in there than I wanted to. So we have two that's kind of the same color combination, except I used the Oceanside and the, Oceanside, and I also used, I forget what the name of this orange is, so you don't see that here. And I did, of course, reverse order. And I went ahead and, as you saw in the fast forward, I did some foiling using my press plate. If I can get it, here it is. Still have it out because I'm going to be making another card. I don't think I'll showcase it on my channel, but I will post it on my Instagram. But I was having some foiling issues. I don't know if I was over foiling it or, what was going on. But anyways, oh, and this one here, I used Concord and Ninths. I used their purple inks and did a little ombre effect, if you will. So, and then of course these were just color strips. So just thought it'd be a little different. But let me know which one is your favorite, number 1, 2, or 3. I would have to say my favorite is probably number 3. I just like the order of this. I don't know, they're all super cute, right? I don't know. All right, well, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next card or craft video. Bye.